right, Dean Cullison, our offensive line coach of our football team, on the way down. There you go. What's going on?
What's up? How's it going?
It's good, man. How are you?
I'm doing better. I can't believe I got invited back. That's nice. So,
well, you are welcome any and all Monday nights, folks. This is where the entertainment value typically ratchets up a little bit here on our shows. Why don't we start with what's going on football-wise, right? It's early February. In a lot of people's minds for college football, it's kind of the heart of the offseason. The D3 National Championship game was now 2 full months ago. You guys have a pretty good idea of what's coming in next year because recruiting's been in full force. National Signing Day was last week. Winter workouts are going on. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in college football that maybe people don't realize is going on. So why don't you give us kind of the latest on what's going on with Yellow Jacket football?
I tell you, the thing I was talking to Rob and Steve when I came in is the past 2 months have just felt like one long day, compared, with winter recruiting in December and you go right into January. And, the nice part about working for Coach Hilvert is somebody with a sense of urgency.
I was just going to tell you what you just said. You sounded just like Coach Hilvert, by the way.
If I had the same haircut, if I looked like Brock Lesnar, it'd be on that.
It would be there.
But no, just working for someone with a sense of urgency like that and who, every day you walk in the building, what are you doing to improve it? Leave it better than when you found it when you walked in. And the response has been great from recruits. He would say it better than me, but you couldn't ask a better group of guys to work with that do a great job of building relationships with kids and getting kids on campus and, showing them that's the thing we always tell our recruits when we get them on campus, the goal being leave here with something about BW you didn't know about before and enjoy it. I always tell them all the same thing. I'm not going to over professionalize you. This is the only day you'll see me in dress pants. I usually wear sweatpants to work, which, saying that in front of our AD, but no, it's been good. And it's like I was telling you before the show, our best recruiters are our kids. And, just every day they're willing to come eat lunch and talk about their experience. And, it's been a very fortunate situation this offseason on top of waking up at the, crack of dawn and getting after it in the weight room and still being willing to help us. It's been awesome. So
college football at the FBS level has changed a lot and in so many different ways in the last 12 months. How have any of those changes that are now becoming pretty mainstream thoughts or topics of conversation among fans, how are any of those changes affecting Division III football? Name, image, and likeness, transfer portal, like those kinds of things.
The biggest one you just hit is the portal itself, and I saw a crazy statistic the other day, and I couldn't tell you the exact numbers, but just the overall amount of scholarship players just in Ohio alone that haven't found a place to call home scholarship-wise yet. And, for us it's kind of beneficial because you're getting a chance to talk to a kid that maybe at the beginning wasn't considering a Division III school, and then next thing you know, you're on the phone with him and he's interested in coming to talk with you. And it's been opening up a whole lot of doors and a whole new facet of kids where, as a recruiting coordinator, the biggest piece of advice I give our guys is have a deep pool, and that pool's only gotten deeper since the emergence of the portal and, just the amount of numbers that are in it. And then, the guys that I know at different levels that, heck, a couple schools I'm talking to, 50% of their funds are going towards the transfer portal and the other 50 are going towards freshmen. That opens up a whole other cachet of kids at the high school level that you're going to have access to. So it's been interesting. And then, for us, it's always putting yourself on the front lines and making sure guys know you're there as an option for them. So, but ever since that thing took off, it's been crazy just in terms of the amount of kids we've been talking to.
National Signing Day is obviously a little bit different at the Division III level. Mm-hmm. There might not be the same pomp and circumstance and fanfare around it, but you still get some guys that'll sign or have a little ceremony at at their respective schools and verbally commit in that first week of February. I realize you're going to get guys that are saying, hey, I'm going to come play football for you up to maybe a few weeks before camp starts. But for the guys that have committed for this upcoming freshman class and have signed with you that you can officially talk about, who are we excited about that fans might be interested in watching?
Well, I tell you right now, we got two gentlemen from the great state of Texas who flew up and came up and visited with us, and one of whom, when he first committed, he hadn't even visited yet. And it was unique in the sense that I think he just fell in love with the dynamic of talking to some coaches and really liking what they had to say and being able to sell him on the experience itself. And then, from the essence of, on offense, our big thing this year was making sure we hit a lot of linemen just in terms of making sure we had a deep pool there, and had a really good number of kids that have decided they want to hop on the train and, help us get better from that front. But I would say for us especially, every kid we get excited about because, at the end of the day, especially with how we view our recruiting, we don't want to bring in just anybody. We're going to bring in, someone that we think can compete right away. And that's what I think the uniqueness of what Coach Hilvert's put forth with us has really made us just hone in on certain kids and make sure we take the time to get to know them and evaluate them and vet them and talk to their coaches and make sure we know who we're getting involved with. So
I'm curious about the relationships that you feel like you've developed here locally with, some of the big powerhouse schools that seem to be turning out really good kids. St. Ed's had another great year. St. Ignatius has had good teams over the years. At the public school level, Medina's had an unbelievable stretch here the last couple of years with Drew Aller at quarterback. Mentors had some really good kids. There's a lot of really good talent in Northeast Ohio that go on to play at the college level, and I'm curious what kind of roster makeup you think you're going to have this year from Northeast Ohio.
Northeast Ohio is a huge area for us. I know the fun part about being a coordinator is getting to divvy those areas, and myself and Coach Hilvert, we're kind of big on splitting this area together because we want to make sure we hit it. And then being from Columbus, when I first got here, Columbus was my area. And then selfishly, I wanted to kind of broaden my horizon a little bit just in terms of, the recruiting landscape. And Coach Robinson did a really good job filling in on that spot. And it's really helped us, kind of build that pipeline from Columbus up through that Northeast Ohio area, heading up over to Toledo some. And, we're very big on, home state guys, get guys to stay home. And out-of-state guys have seen that too, and then you start getting the interest from your Michigans and Pennsylvanias, West Virginias. Kentucky this year got a really good player coming out of Kentucky up to us, and then Florida's always been good. So, when you build a foundation in your home state first, other places will follow. So it's been really good.
Obviously, it was a pretty good season. I know it ended on a disappointing note, but it feels like the program continues to take really good steps these last couple years now. Take COVID out of it for a second.
Yeah.
The season pre-COVID and then this past fall, Baldwin Wallace football has that feel like it's kind of back where it was when it was constantly in the conversation of being in the national playoffs.
Yeah.
And right now I know you're knocking on that door. From your perspective as a coaching staff, what's it going to take to kick that door down?
Overall, for us, first and foremost, is that standard of trust in the program and just trusting what's going on and believing in the things that we're doing, not just as a staff. As cliche as it's going to sound, the kids more than anything are the thing that make it go. And as long as they have that trust and belief in each other, and I think our lifting numbers have proven that with what we've had coming in the offseason, and you're only as strong as your kids are. And obviously leadership is from the top down, and Coach Hilvert being the figurehead that he is and being that stability and that factor, our guys feed off that and they follow that. And, the thing I've been most impressed with since I've been here is our leadership committee. Every year the number has gotten bigger, and guys want to be a part of that and continue to help build it. And, and we're close. Like you said it best, the season didn't end the way that we wanted, but, we're competing right there at the end with one of the best teams in college football. I have nothing but good things to say about them. But for us as a program, I think the biggest thing we learned is you got to play 4 quarters. And Coach Overt would tell you that himself. Got to finish, play 4 quarters, go win the game. Don't try to not lose it, and then that's where you'll be at the end. So,
looking forward to seeing how the identity of this team sort of takes shape over the offseason and into next fall. A couple of things away from the field before we let you go. First of all, we just had Tony Dick on, and he's got a chance here with this sports management program to take kids out toward the Super Bowl, and they've been to so many cool different places. Your role as a recruiter, I think, is unique because you probably get guys that show interest in that program with some regularity.
Yeah.
What are those conversations like, and how fulfilling is it for you to see a guy decide to come here and then get those kinds of opportunities both on the football team and away from the field where they can kind of blend the experience and really make it their own?
So kind of a slight brag, I actually have my bachelor's and my master's in sports management. And the number one thing I tell guys when they first say they're interested in that program, in my opinion, location means everything.
Sure.
And you are on the outskirts of a major city with professional sports teams in the 3 major pro leagues. That in and of itself is half the battle. And I know Coach Parnell, who he is an alum of Baldwin Wallace. He is really tight with Professor Campisi, and the things he's told me about it, and the kids that have went and had conversations with our sports management professors, they all say the same thing when you ask them how those conversations went. Their eyes get really wide, and they're like, man, that was cooler than what I was expecting, And I think the nice part to see about a program like that is how hands-on it is.
Sure.
Taking that, program itself and being hands-on with the effort of taking kids to national championships and Super Bowls, because the world of sports, very hands-on.
Sure.
It's especially, I know the guys that go on that trip and the young men and women that do, they're going to have to get a lot of hands-on experience when it comes to doing a lot of those things, and it's going to benefit them down the road. So it's a very exciting program, and I think as that thing continues to build, it's going to keep taking off. So
looking forward to seeing that for sure. And we'll wrap with one final non-VW related question.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like this is a sweaty palms kind of week for you.
This is a big weekend.
With your Cincinnati Bengals playing for the Super Bowl. First of all, the AFC Championship game. Give me kind of the rundown of where you were and what the moment was like, hanging on McPherson's right leg, knowing that he was a high school kicker 4 years ago.
So I FaceTimed the whole game with a good friend of mine back home, and he got a reaction video after he hit it, and I'm pretty sure I cried.
I would have.
I've been a Bengals fan since birth, thanks, Dad, and this past decade has not been easy. I said I was going to – texted all these guys earlier, but I have to make a public apology. My buddies Jordan, Eddie, Greg, and Jacob, 2016 wildcard game, Steelers and Bengals. A.J. McCarron hits A.J. Green, left pylon for a touchdown to go up, and I challenged the entire room's manhood before the end of the game. And it came back and it bit me. And my buddy Jake was texting me and said, if Joe Shiesty pulls this out, we can't make fun of you anymore. So, but there's kind of an omen going on right now. I was just thinking about this. So Stanley, who was up here, told me a crazy thing. He's never, as a wrestler, has never enjoyed Thanksgiving. I remember when I was first coherent enough to understand that Christmas was awesome when you get gifts. For him to do that for Thanksgiving, and then Joe Burrow has this quote about, don't post your workouts on Instagram. What's done in the dark comes to the light. The fact that kid just now made that public, I'm such a fan of his now, and
sure.
I mean, there's a correlation in there somewhere. So, good things are ahead for the team in the stripes. I know that. So, Stanley, thank you for making that known.
I hope it's going to be a fun weekend. I won't ask you to give us a score prediction because I'm sure that's a little nerve-wracking, but we know who you're pulling for. So
big time.
Have fun, and good luck with the blood pressure. As a Browns fan, I don't know what these are like.
Oh, no, I heard had fun at the Senior Bowl last week, so that's good. That's my one shot I got to take. So.
Dean Cullison, our offensive line coach and lead recruiter at Baldwin Wallace with our football program. Really appreciate your time.
Appreciate you having me.
And great to catch up.
Absolutely.
All right, enjoy
appreciate
the rest
you, brother.
of the night.
Thank you.
It was a great conversation, and looking forward to seeing what this football team does here as they continue their off-season workouts.